I think it's one of those things. Storytelling is a word that I have trouble with because it's so abused. A story has a beginning, a middle, and an end. It is a narrative, to use another word that is abused. So a case study, for instance, can be a story. Your client had a problem. They came to you. These things happened in the middle. There were problems and challenges, and together you overcame them, and then there was a great result. That's the end. That's a story. But these days we use storytelling almost to describe anything that's interesting. So you've probably been told in your marketing you need to do more storytelling. And if you're anything like me, you probably thought, well, what the hell does that mean? But I was the other day at our local farmers market, and I saw such a great, simple example of storytelling that I wanted to share it with you. And that example was, there is a family of farmers who come down to the market every Sunday, husband, wife, 3 children, fantastic produce. And just where you pay, they have one of those plastic sleeve folders of photographs of life on the farm. And so you see the farm and the tractor and the children picking the harvest, and just get a real sense that, yeah, this is food that is coming from real people from a real farm. And I wanted to take a picture of that to show you. So I asked Gary, the farmer, and he didn't want to because his kids are in the picture. So he didn't want to splash his kids all over the internet. But I wanted to use that as an example because I think it's that behind the scenes stuff that a lot of us, and I include us in that, are not very good at doing. If you follow Taleist on Facebook or Instagram, you'll see that we're trying to get better at it, but it's something that doesn't come naturally necessarily to all of us to think, let me take a photograph of what I'm doing today. But there was a second example that I wanted to show you that I think is fabulous, and it's on Facebook. It's a store that I follow on Facebook because Laura, who is our editor, has done some work for Bunty's General Store because they're in her hometown outside Glasgow, or not her hometown, where she lives, outside Glasgow. And this popped up in my feed because I follow them, and I thought this was just such a great example of something that's easy to do. So Bunty's General Store is a local shop in a village with deli elements. So they went on a fact-finding trip to London to get some inspiration. And so you can see it's just a simple story about walking 45,000 steps around London, getting some inspiration, just easy selfie pictures and shots of some of the great examples of delis that they saw while they were walking those 45,000 steps. And if you're anything like me, when you take a picture like that, you think, well, who the hell is going to care? Right? Like, oh, yeah, this is where I'm at this deli. Why should I take a picture? The picture's not great. But actually, I know from my own experience, when I put something up that's like this, I do get engagement, and I do get likes, and I do get people commenting on it, and I do get people mentioning it to me. So a simple storytelling tip from my point of view is to think, what do you do in the background that you take for granted? Like, it might seem super obvious that I run a shop, I'm going to go and look at other shops, but why not take a picture and put it up and see where you go? And as I say, you'll see how we try to do that, and I'd be interested to see, how you go during the day. So that was the simple storytelling tip that I wanted to suggest to you, and it'd be great if you do try it. If you do try putting up a few things in your socials, let me know how they go, because I think it would be interesting to see if you see more engagement from that personal behind the scenes stuff than you see otherwise.